there as well. He's got Shukuchi in 1 second. They can't chase him down.
Well, they can't. And still, they're not getting the mid tower, but those 3 kills, man, that's worth so much.
Tower is under attack.
Such aggressive movement from Orange. Like, even after KYXY knew, like, there's 4 heroes directly above him. Ohio TPs himself in, directly next to him, saying, I'm still here for you, man.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet being everywhere as well in this game. He has also been present just as much as Mushi has. And, man, that fight, I feel that Na'Vi, after that fight, maybe they could have pressured even harder, but not having Dendi there, and of course him being picked off before that fight, they couldn't really claim a tower for it, and they need to. They need to take control of the map.
Dendi's in trouble. Bottom lane, his teammates won't get there in time. Try and Prophet TP. Oh, yeah, Prophet ultimate.
Good TP
Couldn't
out.
get there in time.
Good
But that
TP
was at the
out.
same time he didn't want to get out of there because you knew what was on the bottom lane. They're coming in with smoke and they wanted to be looking out for somebody, but they cannot catch up. Avort's got revealed. The Observer Ward of Orange left behind him, and he came just that little bit too close. In towards the Weaver, who was inside Shukuchi, so he didn't know who he came close to.
Yeah, and we see the Cranium Basher or Skull Basher is finished up on Havost, so he has that option. If he gets close to anyone, really, he can just kill them. We see some interesting moving here as well from Orange. Na'Vi, how are they gonna react?
The only way they can react, they've got to go straight in and try and contest them. The Queen of Pain Illusion's already going to scout out the fact that they are up here, but they have to move as 5. How close is Roshan to death? Getting closer, but not there just yet. So Na'Vi, do they go inside the pit? Do they look up? Avorst will go in.
Look at
see
Ohio.
Roshan, half of his life points.
Look at what Ohio is doing now, just pushing that top lane. He knows he's a Fury and he can just come back whenever. So he will force Na'Vi to do something. They need to go back or commit to Roshan. They're gonna back out.
The danger of split push. Na'Vi, like they let the tier 3 tower take care of it.
Yeah, maybe Ohio needed to push a little bit harder here,
Top tower is
but he's
under
already
attack.
dealing damage.
Yeah,
His
they're backing
team
up.
Committing now.
Now Na'Vi's going to make a move. Avorst in close, but there's so many invis heroes, he just can't see him. There was 3 next to him. Now instead up, and the Rage is on cooldown for him. The Ice Bar trying to give some cover fire back as well, but Extinct keeping himself out. Now with that back down, they can make a move. Naga throws the oldie. That's a big group up. 4 of them there. Extinct just says Silver Planet. I thank you, sir. No! Telekinesis. It picked him up. Funning and Rubik. Rubik has managed to get him now. The Macropire. There's no wall. The Spike Carver slowing him down. Naga trying to TP out in time. It's there stolen and then holds him there. And before gets the bash. Blink up, time lapse. He needs Shukuchi 1 second, not enough time. 2 kills go the way of Na'Vi.
And they're gonna go straight for Roshan as well.
But look what Prophet's doing. He's straight back to top lane. He's gonna try and make him pay. Avorst has to go quickly.
Under attack.
Extinct, he's still got this great stun.
Mushi has his full combo as well.
Well, they're trying to keep him out. They're just trying to make Dendi take longer to kill this off because that tier 3 tower is being brought down. Where is Mushi? He wants to jump it. Is this going to be a snatch? The Bug's flying in first. And Avorst, Funnick both being latched. KYXY, he did! He did! He got it! Snatched by the Queen of Pain and popped instantly after. But now Mushi can fight again. Extinct is there. Avorst won't get out in time. The back goes down to the Ice Bar, but Funnick, Ohio picks up the regeneration rune. There's no stun on Puppy. There's no stun on Dendi. But the Aegis is snatched. It was killed by Na'Vi. The tier 3 tower is still alive. But 13-14.
What a sick steal, getting that clutch steal when it matters. Mushi playing his game this game.
Oh, it's a wonderful game. Absolutely wonderful game. Dendi going to be attacked by Ohio. He's going to side the Vice as well. He's trying to wait for Dendi until he tries to TP out here. It's not going to happen. The Hex is there. Ohio going to solo up Dendi on the top lane.
That's a big solo kill.
He knew what he could take. He knew what he could get away with. And he just jumped in and said, you know what? Someone's going to come here. And if there's anybody but Lifestealer, I can kill him.
Yeah. Orange still need to be careful. When they want to go for a Naga Siren ulti and combine, they need to be careful about how fast that casting time is on telekinesis. If they stand close with Mushi or with Extinct, as was in that last fight, he can just lift him. Even 4 men clustered up of Na'Vi, they got out of that really nicely. So, need to be careful what they do with that Rubik.
And Nyx Assassin has one of the best things he can get right now. The Blink Dagger with Arcane Boots being available.
Oh yeah. He's looking really scary now.
So now they've got even more, like, it's a jump into a disable. You've already got Ohio who's giving him a side device. And Weaver, well, I'm hoping he's actually spent a little bit more of his money right now because KYXY, he's got 2,000 gold, still walking around with that Ogre Club, hasn't changed his items since last we checked him. Obviously that was 7-8 minutes ago, and he still managed to pick up 2,000 gold, so that's not too bad.
Yeah, he is farming up at a decent rate. Not spectacularly fast, but he is one of the strongest heroes on the map. Straight after Ohio now, I would say, with that Scheifer Vice. Ohio looking like he's the strongest man on the field.
Oh, looks like he's about to get stronger. Ancient stack for him. A lot of granite golems here. Looks like almost a triple stack we're looking at.
Yeah, that's a triple granite golem stack.
So easy money. Easy money. Have to use the Treezo to tank it up because KYXY and Ohio obviously got the best tanks in the world. But it's still amazing that, like, we're sitting here in the game, it's 13-15, the experience advantage is like 3,000 difference, which really isn't that much for a 30-minute game. The gold, it shows as the big difference because still we have Orange who have a huge tower advantage. This is a 5-tower advantage and almost basically 6 when you look at that top tower. That's the biggest problem I'm seeing for Na'Vi right now, that even if they do take 2 like massive team fights and they push in, they start taking out towers, Prophet still has an easy access entry into that top lane. If that creep wave gets anywhere near that tier 3 tower, he can threaten racks.
Yeah, and now Na'Vi are moving up, just moving here with Dandy, and we see a good piece of news for any Na'Vi fan. There's a BKB finishing up now on Dandy.
Got to get there in time though. Already Mushy spotting out most of Na'Vi and runs into the corner. Ice Path just out of range. Just off to the side. He had to wait for the blink, and now Naga's coming back up to the top lane. Look how quickly Orange assemble. And also look how quickly Prophet continues to TP to that bottom lane and push it out. Weaver will go up, but Prophet, well, he shouldn't be stopping on this bottom lane. He's got an ultimate which he can give. That'll slow up Na'Vi as well. And what's this, a tier 1 tower, but even more tier 3 tower damage. Almost worth the TP towards the top lane. Again, Ohio on the split push.
Here. Na'Vi are really desperate. This tier 3 tower is taking critical damage.
Well, they're taking critical damage when the Prophet bounces through like that. And they're going to get back. They have TPs. Orange going to try and stop it. Blink down. Dandy pops BKB. Puppey hexed up. He won't get out in time. Dandy, too much damage. Nagaroli stops any kind of TP. Holds Puppey in position. And now, well, no Ice Path. Stunned up. And 2 on the sidelines. While on the bottom lane, that tier 3 tower didn't go down. But they lost Dandy as well as the Jagira, which means in through the top. Orange will come.
And look at top tower and look at bottom tower, tier 3. Both of them sitting about 200 HP. It's basically nothing. This push is looking like it should just go in and take the racks even.
They will. I don't see how they can stop it, man. It's going to be 1, possibly 2. And this will be Orange breaking the base of Na'Vi just after the 30-minute mark. And that is going to be the melee racks gone. Avors coming in with an Iron Shell, and Orange, they made us back up right now, but Mushy sitting in the top left corner. He wants to finish up this range racks. They want a full raxing on this top lane, and they don't fully get it. It's down to 31 HP, but now Koro! Quick death, back in. Funning stunned up by the Spike Caverns. KYXY pops up the BKB. Avors defense damage will kill off the Naga Siren, but they're going to keep on chasing in. Puppey too far out. Double kill for KYXY, and the racks will go down too. Dandy with a quick raise tries to keep him out, but knows where exactly where KYXY is going. Already Ohio is down there. They're going for the double raxing right now.
And what a quick game this looks to be coming out from Orange. And 2 racks.
Even Danny with the double raise. You see how fast he just time lapses back. Avors comes out for Mushy, but hexed up. Avors will go down. Danny winds up the ultimate, but will not get a kill. In fact, he may even lose his own life with this right now. Being forced back, they say no. Double racks is what we search for. And Na'Vi, they have been basically with both their legs broken. They are basically bent over backwards by Orange.
Yeah, mid tier 2 even taking some high damage now, and all that lead that just look at the graphs. All of a sudden, just spiking down. This game looked like it was really even just about 5 minutes ago, and then that one fight, they just punished the entire base of Na'Vi.
It really came down though. Na'Vi knew they were falling so far behind. They weren't controlling the map at all. They weren't buying their farm. And they had to make a decision. Their decision was to go top, and that decision cost them. And I think it cost them more than they were really expecting. They didn't prep that bottom lane. They didn't prep the middle lane. But how do you also prep something up against a hero or even a player like Ohio? He's everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah, Ohio looking so strong in this game. Just having that early Scheifer Vice really helped them. And he could definitely gang out Dandy several times and did do so. So as they went top, that damage dealt to a tier 3. Even if they didn't get caught out, Na'Vi on top lane, they would still have lost that trade. They would have lost tier 3 before they lost tier 1.
Yep. Orange, they are waiting for Na'Vi to come to them. They realize that Na'Vi were already backed into a corner. They tried the tier 1 tower, so they're assuming that Na'Vi will group up and smoke and go out and try and kill them off. It's almost like they're trying to bait him at the tier 1 town. Mushy breaks his smoke, so Orange say, well, they're not coming here.
They saw them.
Yep.
Saw the Na'Vi defending on bottom.
That Observer and Sentry Wall is going to watch most of Orange move anyway.
Yeah, Sentry just a little bit out of range, so didn't actually catch these smoke movements.
This
But
tier 2
of course
tower
they
is
see
gone.
Mushi.
Absolutely gone. Maybe they can get denied. No, they can't. We will take him.
Radiant's middle tower has
That gem
fallen.
up on him too, which he stole from Funnick's dead fingers.
And I think this is where Orange, we saw them earlier in this tournament where they actually played a game, had an amazing lead, and then dived into tier 4 towers and threw the game completely.
Yep.
I think they learned their lesson and not gonna do it again.
No.
So gonna take it safe now. We just saw them crush Navi's base. We're only 33 minutes into the game.
There's no reason to risk anything. You were basically one best of 3 victory away from a grand final playing for the biggest prize pool in all of esports. There is no way you are going to risk anything. They will wait for the next Roshan. They'll continue to farm up. Their only thing they've got to be careful about is what key items will come up while they're waiting. Like I'm looking at Lifestealer with a possibility for an Abyssal Blade coming up on him. Now with almost 3,700 gold. Denny's already got his Blink BKB. Funny's got his level 14, so he's got that 4 points up in the vac. He's got a lot of points up in Surge as well. So his ulti combo is going to work nicely with Dendy's as well, who this is probably going to be the bigger point. He's about to pop that level 16 up on Dendy. They need to give him some space for that so they have a level 3 Requiem of Souls.
Yes, that's true. And Dendy, he is the strongest one on Na'Vi with that BKB and Blink because he can land the big combination. They need to hit level 16 and he will do so very soon. And if they land a big combination with Darkseer, they can still kill off the entirety of Orange, as we saw him do on the mid lane there very early on in the game, where everyone just disintegrated.
What do we got coming out? Full Daedalus now completed for the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, Na'Vi though, they are pushed back and really forced to rely on the combinations now. They can't just go into a fight and start right-clicking and throwing spells without coordinating it perfectly.
This Courier just having second thoughts about going. Okay, now it's going to go.
Yeah, probably wants to send out the Desolator as well. Or maybe not even.
You're talking about the Dire? I'm
I
talking
was
about the Radiant
the Dire.
Courier. It stopped halfway up. It does pick up the rolling. So we'll get an Abyssal Blade coming off here from the Lifesteal. And Avorst bought out for this. He wants to have that Abyssal Blade for this fight. Na'Vi now realize if they don't have every single bit of power that they could get for this fight around Roshan, then they won't win it. And of course, Avorst, a very critical hero as well, because Naga won't affect him as far as the Naga sleep goes. And that is what's going to ensure the Roshan kill for Orange. The one thing he's going to be careful about is the net. And he's going to wait for that instead to be thrown out by net to ensure he can move around during the fights. That's the only thing that can control him out of everything Orange has.
As long as he gets his Rage up first, yes, that's true, but there's still the silence, the Hex. He has to be so careful and Vost about how he goes into this fight. And I'm not even sure that they're gonna go, man, because Orange, they're already going, they have that Daedalus, and they're killing Roshan really fast here. They don't have Desolator finished up just yet.
Na'Vi have no choice. They've got to go now. If they don't go now, they're going to fight it inside their base and they'll lose. And you're right, with DD on Mushi, this is going to be a horrible fight for him. The bugs come out, and Dendy, well, he's the one with the surprise inside him. Roshan's already down. Queen of Pain gets the Aegis, and Na'Vi just bail. They bail quickly. That illusion's given the vision, and now it's Orange who want to kind of chase this one down. Mushi trying to get in closer. Can't get there in time.
They want to.
And Na'Vi going to try and turn on the choke point.
We see just top lane and bottom lane being pushed in. Meanwhile, Na'Vi can never really leave their base without it being so obvious to Orange exactly where they are.
Yep. You can see Orange too. They knew just at this choke point here that if a good Ice Path managed to hit with a Macropie follow-up to a Darkseer vac and wall, that Orange will be dead. Like almost instantly. Everything they would have worked so hard to build would just be thrown away.
Yeah,
so they backed themselves up when the second they realized that Na'Vi could turn.
Yeah, and also we see Orange very careful about having buyback on all their 3 core heroes. Queen, Nature's Prophet, Weaver, all have buyback.
Yep.
So even with these big items that they have...
It's a double Aegis basically is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Puppey misses the Ice Path. I don't really know why if they really want to initiate outside of their own base. They're going to hold on top of that tier 3 tower if they want to try and win this.
Bottom racks went
Radiant's
down.
bottom barracks
Weaver
has
just
fallen.
standing there and attacking some.
Oh, that Desolator is just going to hard work, man.
And we see Mushi pushing in top. They want to push in every single lane and then deal some damage to mid.
It's a split push. If Na'Vi have a great team fight, what do? You separate them. Avorst is still inside of Dendi. He refuses to come out.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna have that off cooldown very soon. Might even double nuke with that. Kind of funny.
Will be a good thing to have during the fight. Jump out of an Infest, say, well, I get my initiation while I still got my stability. KYXY is just mowing through that bottom.
This split push is like, we see KYXY just farming buildings in the base of Na'Vi because they can't stop him.
Yep. Farms the buildings, helps when those creep waves push in. They start taking directly to the tier 4 towers, or even the heroes. And Dendi's having to use a lot of mana to just try and keep him out. KYXY, there you go again, onto another one of the buildings.
Yeah,
And Extinct wants to weigh in. Extinct probably wants to try and initiate on Kuro. He's the one that's going to give that control to Na'Vi, and they throw down Sentry Wards. Now they want to see him. Blink out, Dendi! Jumped out, but Mushi net will throw out the ultimate, but Avorst gets a quick stun. Now Dendi winds up. He shouldn't be doing that. He's going to hold it. Now he does. There's a little bit with it. Pick up and throw back in. Dendi with a double kill. But KYXY still does a lot of damage. And it's the mid-ranks the focus. Mushi's up past it.
They got the supporters, but every single core is still alive. And Aegis, was he brought down? No, he wasn't.
Nope. They kept him alive, man. They kept him alive, but what a beautiful play. With Dendi with the wind-up, he's trying to cast it at range, so when Kuro gets the telekinesis pickup, he throws him directly at the feet of SF.
Yeah, this was still very good by Na'Vi. Winning any sort of fight when you're behind like 20,000 gold, 15,000 experience.
In trouble, hexed up. Ice Buff will give him the space to escape. In fact, he wants to turn on KYXY. Lincoln Sphere will trigger. He doesn't have that Abyssal Blade just yet, but now he moves over towards Ohio. Yes, Sprout keeps him forced out, but they cut through it. Quality play still there. Mushi will it's back over on the side, so he'll go down. Ohio to the sidelines, and now KYXY. Time lapse. Mushi's back alive again. He's already lit up the Scream, and Funnick being attacked up here by the Weaver. Be a double kill to KYXY. Avorst now instead. He's outside of his own base. Ohio comes in. Avorst. Now he goes down. Buyback by Pumpy. But Mushi diving inside the base. Pumpy's buyback and TP out. Gets him in a position for the Ice Buff as well as Macropie. Mushi will blink himself down and away to safety. He's still burning. They need to help him. And there's actually an illusion from Darkseer. Gets the kill as well as KYXY. Funnick with a double kill illusion. But it won't stop their racks, and GG! Orange will take game 1 in the lower bracket final up against Na'Vi, TI1 champions, TI2 runners-up, and now they face one game. If Orange win it, they will be eliminated, and that means Na'Vi will miss their first ever TI3 grand final.
That would be the case, but still, Na'Vi, we have seen them so many times lose their first game in a best of 3 and then come back really strong. So let's see what our analysts have to say over at the table. James?
Thank you, Wagger and Toby. Yeah, will history repeat itself? Last time they met, Orange won game 1. Not surprised, of course, they can take a map of Na'Vi. The odds, as you mentioned earlier, Ben, were in favor of Na'Vi overall, but Orange have been so good. But guys, what was the difference between the teams in game 1?
I mean, I think from the draft, it was very obvious that they were drafting Shadow Fiend. I'm surprised that they actually picked it up. The last ban from the TA, they know that there was no Dendi hero already on the map, and they picked the Queen of Pain. Mushi's Queen of Pain was incredible. The amount of pressure that he put on the Shadow Fiend, forcing Puppy to rotate early, almost getting that first blood, and just constantly keeping up with that pressure. Shadow Fiend ended up 3 and 8. That is a very unusual performance from Dendi.
It almost seemed as if Mushi baited them into picking the Shadow Fiend, confident that he could beat the Shadow Fiend with his Queen of Pain mid, and he did beat him, and in a very hard style as well. I think the hero of this match was Ohio on his Nature's Prophet, though. You rarely ever see, well, because of how much Dendi got dominated on his Shadow Fiend, Ohio could just TP around and make life really hard on Dendi. That Shadow Fiend just never got up and running, and their only hope was Avorst on the Lifestealer, and it just didn't work out for them. And Orange is looking ever as strong as yesterday. It's incredible to see them play right now, and I feel they could be the grand final attendee right now.
Yeah, I actually agree with the drafters in saying they baited them out. I think Orange won the draft in a big way. I'll explain why in just a moment. Bruno, what have you got for us?
I think at this moment what Na'Vi has to think is, first of all, this is the first time in all the internationals Na'Vi is in the losers bracket. They went unbeaten in TI1, and TI2 they went unbeaten until the finals. And this is the first time they're going down there. When they're going there, now they have to think, do we actually have to pull out all our guns? Is it maybe time for the Pudge? I mean, Pudge seems to be this pick that Na'Vi has to save them all the time, whatever it happens against the odds. I think Navi has to be considering this is the first time we are about to drop out of a match at the International, which is not the finals. We'll have to bring everything.
Yeah.
That Shadowfiend didn't work. Let's go with the patch.
Yeah, they're on kind of their tournament lifeline, if you know what I mean. Last time they played Orange and they were one map down, they still had the lower bracket to consider. They're in the lower bracket finals. They cannot lose anymore. Oh, sorry.
Do not die, please.
I was meant to not cough today.
Look at Mushi here.
But I survived so long. Yeah, this is the steal. And Mushi. And this was big. This was really big because Na'Vi needed this for some like kind of security in terms of had they got that on Dendi, they would have been able to properly take fights knowing that they're most likely going to come out on top. The fact that Orange stole the Aegis, in my opinion, was one of the biggest moments of the game because I want to talk about the draft a little bit. Na'Vi drafted for team fights. If you look at the combo of having a Jakiro and a Darkseer, it's all about being able to get a team fight going. They weren't able to. Main reason was that I think was particularly is quite relevant. Naga Siren has been picked 3 times against Na'Vi in the main event, and every time they've lost. Naga Siren stops the team fight. When a Darkseer wall comes down and a vacuum, if you just ulti, you could eliminate a lot of the overall kind of power that some of your supports have. They've lost to Naga Siren, they weren't able to team fight, and that's what they needed to do. And on the other hand, Orange, their draft won, in my opinion. The Weaver versus a Lifestealer. Weaver destroys a Lifestealer in terms of just movement and being able to get farm on the map. Nature's Prophet had a great time, admittedly, that was just because Shadowfiend didn't have a decent time, but Orange could fight as well as Na'Vi. In many cases, maybe a slight disadvantage, but they could control the whole game much better than Na'Vi. So if Na'Vi got that Aegis, that was their only chance. And so that Mushi still was the biggest play of that game.
I would say that the second.
You guys are disagreeing with me. I'd love it if you disagreed. Am I wrong? Or?
No. Yeah, I think you were.
For once, you're right.
Yeah, I want to nominate the second best play of the game, though, to the double kill from Fnatic at the end when it didn't matter. The Mushi illusion, getting one last hit here, one last hit there. Didn't do much, but it was flashy.
It was cute.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of controlling Havos's Lifestealer too. Usually Havos just goes crazy, and if he dies, they still get a lot out of it. But they had Net for him. They had Song of the Siren, and then focus down on him. They also had the Orchid up on Mushi, and all those played a key role into Orange being able to control the team fights, as you said, James.
Yeah, so before we get into game number 2 between Orange and Na'Vi, we're going to go to Casey, who's going to be talking to K-Poptosis. If you've seen all the little stats, this is the man behind it.
That's right. We're going to introduce you to him right now. We are backstage, and we want to show you a little bit behind the scenes of how all those numbers and all of the fun stats that you're doing popping up. And you're also known as Brian, right?
Yes. My first name is Brian, and I kind of like to go by that, but that's fine. Like whatever.
So K-Poptosis /Brian.
Yeah, there you go.
So walk us through what you're doing during the games.
Okay, so basically what I have up now is a website that basically pulls from the data that Valve puts out through their API. It's basically just game data, and a really awesome guy called Martin puts together this website called DatDota. And like here we have all the heroes that have been picked at the International, how many times they've been picked, wins, loss, other data. But what we can also do is more in depth. So we just watched Orange play, and we've seen how Extinct has been really good on Visage. So I can just go in here, I can select Visage, I can go down here, and I can go to Extinct if I can actually find him. There he is, and at the International. And I can look and I can see how his performance has been here when it actually loads up. When it actually loads up. But basically, I take this data and I see where it works in the games. Like I see things that are interesting, I see trends, and I like to put them in and like let the viewers know, like, hey, this is cool, this is interesting. Because a lot of commentators will say like, oh, well, he's been really good on Visage so far. So it's really cool to be able to go and look and point, and it's not currently loading. But this is how I would basically do it when it would be working. And it would come back and tell me his numbers, and I would relay that to the viewers.
So you're basically having to listen to the game, watch the game, decide what's interesting, what is necessary, and where to put it.
Yeah, like a lot of people said, well, oh man, that job must be easy. You just pull up things on the internet and it's like search. It's like, no, I have to really be paying attention. I have a headset on, like cocked on my head half the time so I can listen. And know what the commentators are saying. I want to be able to drop the stats at a time that the commentators are talking about what's going on, so it's relevant. So it takes a lot of work. because it's kind of like digging through hay to find needles. You got to know exactly what to look for, because otherwise you'll just get buried in the mountains of data that's there.
You're getting a little bit of help. Tell us what's going on over here as well.
So I've got like a 3-man crew working here. Basically, when I research the stats and get them up, these guys help me out and they relay it. We have a nice little Skype going while I'll type in the statistic I want to use, and they'll translate it over to their native languages in Chinese and Russian with my friends Rob and an inmate here that have been doing that. And they do more than that. They've been watching through games. Like when we've had those Dindy Pudge games, they've been keeping track of the hooks for me. So it's been a team effort over here. So.
Must be exhausted.
I am exhausted. I've done every game for the tournament so far, and like half the matches of the prelims as well. But I've been set up here, so it's been a lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed it.
Well, I know everybody watching appreciates what you're doing, so thank you for showing us how it's done.
No problem.
All right, back to you guys.
Thank you, Casey. K-Poptosis has been a bit of a star, hasn't he? Some of those little tidbits have been fantastic. And I just want to bring up again, Naga Siren. Do Na'Vi get rid of it? Do they ban it?
I personally don't think so. I think they're going to go with the sort of the same bans as we just saw with the removing the visits, because I think they feel visits is harder to play against than Naga Siren, and I don't think they're going to credit this loss of theirs to the Naga Siren the same way you just analyzed it to be. Not because you were wrong in what you said, but just because I don't think Naga Siren is the biggest of their concerns right now.
I don't know. I think that Mushi plays so many heroes that you can't ban any Mushi hero, because, I mean, you ban 2, he got 16 others. It's going to be okay. And also Orange is one of those teams that do not pick Wisp at all. Do not pick Tree at all, one of the other very strong picks that sometimes we see. Do not pick OD. They do not seem to care much about some of the strongest picks. So maybe you can use one of the first bans for that. Of course, you want to get rid of the Bad Rider, because that's a hero that's strong no matter what. But if you can get rid of the Naga Siren, well, that's one less problem for you.
Yeah, Ben, we're about to go into the game in just a moment. So before we do, any kind of predictions? What do Na'Vi need to do to shut down Orange and stay in the tournament? Because if they lose this, they'll be going home.
I just don't think they can get outdrafted like that. The Shadow Fiend just really put a crutch in whatever they wanted to do. They snowball off early aggression, and if they lose their lanes from the get-go, they're playing from behind, and that's not where Na'Vi shines.
Jacob, can they come back, or is it Orange to the grand finals?
No, Na'Vi's definitely going to come back. I think this game is going to be Na'Vi's, and then we have a nail-biting third game. I think Na'Vi might get the Chen pick right now. I hope so. And then with the success that Chen has had in this tournament, I expect Poppy to show us why he's one of the greatest Chens in the world.
He's 8-1 so far. And yeah, I think it's all about, during the draft stage, the players are looking at the crowd. It's all about the crowd making some noise. If you're cheering for Na'Vi, if you're cheering for Orange, just show your support. It does count. When you're here, the players see that, and that can be the life-changing factor.
Yeah, and Jacob, Orange are very aware of the Chen, apparently, because I'm going to send it back to game, but a bit of a spoiler. Chen has been first banned from Orange. So
well done.
This is going to be tough for Na'Vi. It's going to be a very difficult game for them to bring it back to a 1-1. We're going to send it over to the hall to Toby and Wagamama to take it away. Best of luck to both teams.
Orange versus Na'Vi.
Thank you very much, James, and welcome back, everybody, local or around the world tuning in. We are back for game number 2. Orange going up against Na'Vi in the lower bracket final. Waga, game number 1. Orange, I just want to say, controlled. Amazing.
They had amazing control, and they used the Furion, the Nature's Prophet, so well in that game. And I want to just head over straight into a draft for this game. Last game we just saw it, and we're all excited for this one. And we see first ban on the Chen, as James mentioned there. Also, they still ban out Visage, as Melk predicted, and now Nature's Prophet goes the way of Ohio again.
See, I was wondering about that. I know I realized too our mics are live inside of Dota TV before they're live here, but it's like, where is the Darkseer? Was he going to be picked up? Because Orange, like, they got these amazing combinations with the Darkseer. We saw it with the Visage, just with this extra kind of stunner kind of combination, but they want to have this split push, and I'm not surprised by it. Like, I've cast a lot of Na'Vi games in my time, and I know Na'Vi's one of the biggest problems is they love to team fight, they love to push, and they hate to go backwards. And going backwards is something that Nature's Prophet makes you do so damn well. And that's what happened in the last game. Na'Vi had to make a choice. They came out, they lost so much life on the tier 3 towers. When the time came, tier 3 towers and racks just crumbled beneath them.
Ohio is an insane Nature's Prophet player, and the way he forced Na'Vi around in the last game was just crazy. But that was also mainly attributed to the fact that they were winning the fights. Like, Orange were already controlling the fights, and then it's easier to push your enemy around.
10 seconds
Maybe now
remaining.
Navi, now with a lifesteal puck combination, they can come out a little bit
5
ahead in the
seconds
fights,
remaining.
and it's also really scary to split push against puck and lifestealer.
Yep.
So we see
Reserve
Bane
time.
being picked up, Doxy being banned out by Orange, and the ban's heading over to Navi.
I'm
We
wondering
see
if
them on
Puppy
the screen.
should look to just make sure Denny gets a good start too. Like, you're talking about Lifestealer and Puck combination. It's great for catching out Prophet, but you're going to need a Blink Dagger, and Orb isn't enough to get yourself in there. But if you do get that silence off, then you'll have the damage with the Lifestealer, and you can catch Prophet out, at least make him fear to TP around that map. But he needs